So friends, after fabricating and spreading the big lie, inciting violence on January 6th, 2021, and refusing to call off the attack he launched while it raged on, after all of that, must we again allow the big liar to tell the same lie in advance of the upcoming election, plainly urging people to violence again? I mean, does free speech really mean that we have to let the big liar perpetrate a second January 6th? Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, Donald Trump is at it again, telling the same old big lie about voter fraud and stolen elections, inspiring people to anger, setting up violence, while the institutions of government that are tasked with protecting the American people and our elections seem to respond how? With a shrug? Let's start with the new reporting. This from the Washington Post. Headline: Trump pledges to jail opponents, baselessly suggests election will be stolen from him. And that article begins, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump threatened to jail people involved in unscrupulous behavior related to voting in the 2024 election, suggesting, without evidence, that the election could be stolen from him, and prompting widespread condemnation from election officials who said such rhetoric could provoke violence. Trump's remarks, made in a social media posting on Saturday night, represent the most overt signal yet that he may not accept the result in November if he loses. Trump has a history of railing against election officials and raising unsubstantiated claims of fraud when his political fortunes appear uncertain, as they do now in his extremely close race with Vice President Kamala Harris. His comments are his most direct threats made against those who will administer elections this year. In reality, illegal voting is exceedingly rare, but Trump appears to be replaying his efforts to sow doubt about the voting process ahead of the 2020 election, actions that contributed to the deadly January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol. Quote, when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long prison sentences so that this depravity of justice does not happen again, Trump wrote on Saturday on his Truth Social platform. We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't. Trump, who began his message with the words cease and desist, went on to threaten a wide range of the kinds of people who would face prosecution and prison time, including campaign donors and those involved in administering elections. Quote, please be aware that this legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials, Trump wrote, adding that such people will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels, unfortunately, never seen before in our country. Threats and harassment of election workers have skyrocketed since Trump and his allies began denying the results of the 2020 election, amplifying their false claims on television, podcasts, and social media. The developments caused a mass exodus of veteran election administrators from their jobs and prompted scores of election officials around the country to harden their physical workspaces with bulletproof glass, emergency buttons, and extensive crisis training. Well, friends, here we go again. While Donald Trump is on pretrial release in multiple criminal cases and pending sentencing and possible imprisonment in yet another criminal case, he's telling the same old election lies. He's ginning up, encouraging, inspiring, setting up the same kind of violence he set up on January 6th, 2021. I mean, do we really just sit here and shrug our shoulders? Oh, well, free speech. Are we required to freedom ourselves to death? Are we required to freedom ourselves, right into the destruction of our democracy? On January 6th, Donald Trump ordered the attack on the Capitol. He lied to people about voter fraud, stolen elections, whipped them up into a frenzy, told them if you don't fight like hell, you won't have a country anymore, and then directed them to go to the U.S. Capitol and stop the certification, stop the peaceful transfer of power. He helpfully used the word stop the steal. I say helpfully because that's evidentiary gold. It provides evidence of Donald Trump's criminal intent because he knew the election hadn't been stolen. Every executive branch official and agency told him the election hadn't been stolen. And then as his attack raged on for hours, he watched it on TV and refused to call it off as his angry mob hunted for his vice president and the Speaker of the House. Donald Trump has a track record. It's been proven conclusively that Donald Trump's inflammatory rhetoric is designed to and likely to produce violence. And that the First Amendment does not protect. So, what the hell are our institutions of government going to do about it? Because this is no way to run a civilized society. Because justice matters. Friends, tomorrow's another day. We'll get up, we'll pull on the gloves, and we'll keep fighting for it. Friends, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.